Hello, good morning, good day. I decided to do a video log of some of the stranger things in life, and I'm not much of a typer. I thought about writing a book on a few occasions. I like this way of doing it. So anything that has this title is going to have a quirky little story, true story, and I just thought I'd share. Some of you might find it boring, and next time you see the title, you won't even bother watching it. But I'm going to share a story. Some of them are from the distant past, and some of them are more recent. And this one took place outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I was redoing a beautiful kitchen area, and it was wallpapered, so I just decided to stick with wallpaper. I'd gone to a whole bunch of local stores, and nothing was hitting me in color and patterns. So I spoke to a friend of mine, and she says, well, Sherwin-Williams has a really great selection for that kind of stuff. So that night I got online and found 2 complimentary papers, patterns, and colors, and I jotted down the serial numbers and made myself a little thumbnail sketch of what they look like. So, just as luck would have it, my girlfriend Nancy was going to the Sherwin-Williams store to get paint. So she says, you know, you're more than welcome to take the ride. Where I lived outside of Pittsburgh, it was quite a drive to get to some of the shopping spots. So we shared the ride, and I walked into the store, and I approached the clerk, and I told him that I had already picked out the paper, and these are the measurements of the walls, and I would like some guidance on how many rolls, since I had never done this before. So he looks at me and he says, well, they're not our serial numbers. And I said, well, yes, they are. You know, they're online. And he said, no, they are. I don't really have a lot of experience with wallpaper, but they must be cataloged differently. And I said, well, can you help me find these here? I'd like to take care of this right now. And he said, I don't know the books that well. And he pointed to this enormous wall of hundreds of books. And he said, you're more than welcome to, you know, browse. So I looked over at Nancy, and she looked at me, and I said, well, how is this gonna go? And I just stared at the wall for a minute and just tried to, you know, not really think about anything. And lo and behold, I was drawn to a section, and then I looked over the books, and I went to one book, and I pulled it out and went to the table and opened the book up. And there it was, the exact patterns on that page. First book, first page. It was one of those beautiful moments. Synchronicity, precognition, karma, consciousness, coincidence. I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed a tale from a quarter of a down my rabbit hole. I'll see you guys later. Ciao.